Welcome to the Delight Your Marriage podcast. You're joining me, Bella Rose, as I dive deep into the beauty, power, and truths about intimacy. Learn not only the practicals, but the heart behind what making love is all about. Delight your marriage.
Hello everyone, my name is Daryl. I am the husband of Bella, and I hope all of you are well, you and your families.
Thank you, honey. That's right. Darrow is on to talk about how to encourage your man. So as my man, I would think he's got pretty good insights for us. And really, this is a topic that I have wanted to put on the show for a long time because, you know, Delight Your Marriage works with wives and we work with husbands separately. And the whole goal is to train the other to love the other spouse well. And husbands and wives are very different. We need very different things to feel fulfilled in our marriage. And just a quick plug for what is happening very soon, September 12th, this coming Monday, is a training for husbands so they can turn into a man like Darrow.
I don't know about that, but maybe even better.
Impossible. But seriously, it's such an important training. It's free, and it's called Masculinity Reclaimed Foundations. And this is really the 3-month program, Masculinity Reclaimed, condensed into the essence for 3 trainings. It's on demand, which means that if you sign up at delightyourmarriage.com/men's training, when you sign up there, you'll get the emails in your inbox, and it'll be available for about a week. So you'll definitely need to sign up as soon as you can so you can get access to those video trainings. And people have said, I mean, this content has changed them in the way that they respond to their wives. Incredible. And wives have even said, I can't believe my husband's doing X now. I can't believe he's changed into this now. And just from a free training. So our whole team is around it. We're just so excited because we're really praying for God to help husbands become the men that God wants them to become for their wives, for their kids, for their ministries, for their work, all of it. So we're thrilled, and it's not going to happen again this year. It's not going to happen for many, many more moons. And so I encourage you to do it now and go to delightyourmarriage.com/men's training. Get on the list, get signed up. Now, if you're a wife and you're listening to this, I'm excited that you are because I've been doing so much material for men. I was like, wait, the ladies need some insights too. So let's do this episode for them. And if you want more, if you want to be part of our women's community and get the training and get the support, it's truly amazing. Allie is just incredible. You will love her on the inside of our program, and you can find out more about whether or not that's the right fit for you. Go to delightyourmarriage.com/cc and get on a call with a clarity advisor, and she can walk you through whether or not this is the right step for you. And if we feel very confident, we can help you in your specific situation. Well, that was a lot. Are you ready to have a conversation, honey?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Let's dive in. So I'm starting with a story that Darrow doesn't know that I was going to start with. But he is the hero of the story, so I think he won't mind. We have 2 sons. They are 9 and 7, almost 8, I guess. And I'm so excited to share with you how they came to be. That's why this podcast is about sex. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually about how their birth stories. So the first one was born we had it all worked out that we were going to do a birthing center. And for whatever reason, they didn't have our paperwork. And so my husband had to fumble around trying to fill out this paperwork while they had me in a room called triage. And so this is where they bring people, and usually they have women who are medicated there. So that means that these are women who are still laboring, but they have an epidural, so they are not in pain. So what happened is I'm there and they strap me up into all these things. And what I noticed was there was a lady who was wheeled into that room with me. I couldn't see her because of the curtains, but I heard her and she was screaming. And what I noticed in the moment while I'm going through the exact same sensations that I could tell she was having, but I knew how to deal with it. I had a system. I had a way. I was trained in the right way of breathing, relaxing my body. So even though I was experiencing just as much pain as she did, I felt bad for her because here she is going through the exact same experience, but she has no training. She has no skills. She doesn't know what to do. And so all she's doing is screaming and making her experience just horrific for her. And so I just remember that moment just in compassion and pity that I wish she had the tools that I had so that she could handle this experience completely differently. So fast forward, the baby came. Skip a year and a half later, right? We had different insurance, so we weren't able to be in the birthing center. He came so fast that as we decide that, okay, it's time to go to the hospital, we walk out of the apartment and I screamed and we went back into the apartment. I'm in the bathtub and my amazing husband, Darrow, he actually delivered the baby.
It was a lot of work.
It was an incredible experience. Why do I share that story is because the tools, that is what it was. By God's grace, had been given the tools to birth in an incredible way. And so had I not been given those tools, first of all, the first experience would have been horrible. And the second experience would have been even worse because then I didn't have, it just would have, it would have been scary for both of us. It would have been so bad. But because I had skills, it was okay. And it was even beautiful. We were able to, it was incredibly bonding. Both experiences. Those tools are what took a potentially horrible situation into something that was incredible for both of us. We were just so unified, so connected. It was this incredible experience for both of us. I started out marriage, as most of us do, without very good role modeling. I didn't see healthy marriage. I didn't see the lovey-dovey connection that I wanted in my own marriage, long term. I didn't have anyone to follow. And I can imagine you might be in a similar spot. And that might be why your marriage is where it is right now. But listen, I and my husband are here because we want to give you the tools. We don't want you to have to go through hard things without having tools. Because you can get to the other side and it's an incredible experience, but it could also break your marriage apart because life happens to all of us. Hard things happen to every person. Every person you see is going through something or has gone through something. And if you don't have tools to know what is it that your husband needs to feel filled up, what is it that your wife needs to feel filled up, you will not be able to withstand those storms, or you'll withstand them kind of poorly and your kids will suffer and everyone around you will suffer. It's just, it's bad. So I'm hoping that we can give you the tools in this conversation. Here's what it is, first of all, for men. What do they need to feel filled up? Well, I call it the intimacy framework. This is what I teach, and I've actually created a little acronym. So hopefully this will make it easy for you to remember. RAWS, R-A-W-S. R, respect. A, admiration. W, wholehearted. S, sexual intimacy. Respect, admiration, wholehearted sexual intimacy. That is what the skills that we want to encourage you, help you to understand, help you to live out.
I'm trying to think about an example. Right, you're trying to climb that cliff. There's certain roads or ways that you can climb that cliff, but we want to get sooner on the top. We want to get there faster. And I feel like that expectations for you to get there as fast as you can, it is you're want to get disappointed. I feel like you want to get disappointed, and you're not want to like it. And when you get disappointed, you want to blame the closest person that is to you. Feel like it's your spouse. That's you want to take it out because the expectations are high, and you're ready to blame. We are ready to blame. When we're ready to blame, there's not kind words that will come out of our mouth, things that will hurt the other person, so we can feel like that person, it feels the same pain as we going through, because it's easier to feel the victim. Yeah. And I feel like that expectations, we got to be very, very careful. To me, it's just whatever comes, I'm appreciated. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those things. Just be grateful. And whether it comes sooner, weeks, months, years, just keep doing it. You know deep in your heart that you're doing the best that you can without any expectations. Because if you're doing the best that you can and expect something, and then you start wondering why it doesn't happen this yet, and then that means you're not doing, you're doing for you. You're doing for yourself, not for the other person. The other person did not ask you to have the expectations. Is you put the expectations on you. And I feel like those expectations are very, very, very dangerous, I think, in terms with your spouse and in your relationship with her or him.
I think that's beautiful. And I love the example that you gave, because it reminds me of, it's almost like you want to get to the top of the mountain, and when you look at it, it looks like the side that has a cliff straight up, that's actually the fastest. Or you can have this winding road around. But slowly you get there. From what I'm hearing you say, honey, it reminds me of like, you look at that mountain, you're like, oh, well, let me go the fastest way. The fastest way is straight up, up the cliff. So we're gonna force my spouse to climb up, and I'm gonna tell them to climb up, and we're gonna climb up, but pretty quickly you fall, or you slip, or you this or that. And instead, you could have been in a comfortable vehicle. You could have looked to the side and enjoyed the view and encouraged the other, and little by little, you actually enjoy, if you choose to enjoy it. And then eventually you get up there, and guess what? The person who's got all these expectations and trying to force the other one up is still at the bottom while you're enjoying this incredible view. And it almost feels like, yes, it's slower. Yes, it takes more discipline to bite your tongue and not force your spouse a certain way. But it's, man, so much better. You enjoy it, they enjoy it, and you both are living your best selves, becoming who God wants you to become on the journey. That's a beautiful picture, honey. I love that. I can't believe you came up with that right on the spot there.
Me neither.
Is it good?
some things, to me, I understand is by like stories or examples. That to me, it helps me to understand the whole story, or most of the story. And that's why I make kind of like those examples of climbing up that mountain, right? It's just, it's easier to go faster. What is that saying? That it's, I forgot what is that saying, but I was want to say a race car, you want to go there as fast as you can, but you want to hurt a lot of people on the way, or the person that is with your side, instead of going with and enjoy the company of that person that is beside you. Yeah. And then you eventually will get there. It doesn't matter that you want to get there 5 hours earlier, a day early. Yep. You enjoy the company of that person. You enjoy and appreciate everybody else around you. You eventually will get there. And I feel like, no, we don't. You don't deserve your wife. Your wife chose you. And I feel like your kids, and I feel like just, I don't know. It's easy to say just be grateful, right? But when someone is going through a very tough times, that being grateful, that's not even close to for you to see it.
Right.
It's going to be very easy to see a lot of words that you're going to express to your spouse or the person that's close to you.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really good. If you can believe it, I know it's going to be hard. But my mom actually didn't like Darrow early on. Don't worry, it gets better. But no, she was really against it. In fact, there were several times on the phone where she would begin to talk about him, and I would have to pause her and say, listen, if you're going to continue this conversation about my husband, I'm going to have to hang up the phone. And so I'd set that boundary. She would change the subject, but it would be a cold conversation after that, and we'd pretty much wrap up a minute later anyway. But so there were times that our relationship had to come above others, and that was the respect I had to give my husband regardless. The reason I bring that up is my husband and I know two sisters, and I think this is a really good example for you wives out there. One of the wives clearly respects her husband. She talks about it. She talks about how great he is in public, to me, to my husband. She even, in a similar way, will defend her husband in front of her mother. And so it's pretty easy for others to respect him as well. In fact, the mother respects him very much so. Now, contrast that with the other sister, whom we love. We absolutely love her, but we have seen her disrespect her husband by telling him what to do, critiquing him, correcting him in public, not acknowledging his strengths or the good things that he's done. Unfortunately, she also doesn't step in when her own mother does that to him, even if he's not present, but she doesn't step in. And what we see is that mother disrespects him, and other people don't hold him in as high esteem as the other brother-in-law. And the thing is, I absolutely feel both men are incredible men. When somebody is respected by others, others want to respect them. So that's the thing that has happened with my own husband, is that face value, people did not immediately know how incredible Darrow was on the inside, and he's incredibly handsome. So don't be fooled, all right? He might not think so, but I know he is incredibly handsome. But the point is that because I respect him, others respect him more so. And eventually, my mom did turn around, and now she loves him and she recognizes him as this incredible father. How in the world did I score such an incredible man? Which is true. It's true. I don't deserve this amazing husband that I get to sit beside and walk with. But yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, that's good to hear. And, that's true. The mom wasn't approving. You want the best for your child, right? I can say we celebrate our anniversary.
Yes, tell them.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll celebrate our anniversary a couple weeks ago. That's quite a story, how I was feeling. So I managed, we had 2 kids. So where the kids are going to stay, you got to find someone if you who you trust that your kids are going to stay, so you can spend time with your spouse. So I went, I got everything planned that I thought I had all the time in the world, and then there's rush hour. I started getting nervous when I look at the time that I have. I started getting so stressed, so angry and disappointed about that I'm disappointed my wife, because I want her, it's your anniversary. Everything should be the way you plan it. Well, that's what we think, right? It should go the way that we plan it. I start crying because I hate to disappoint people. especially disappointed my wife to me not to be there on time. I'm supposed to be there first. And her response was, oh, amazing. I said, I'm sorry, but looks like I'm not going to make it to get there on time. I'm so sorry. I really try. And her response is, honey, don't worry about it. Even if we can just sit on the bench, that's fine. I just want your company. I want a happy husband who can listen. I cry even more about happiness because her response, what she says. First, I was crying because disappointed. I was hard on myself. And I'm like, you can get my company, my attention. And then she says, and happy? I say, yes, and happy too. Somehow I felt like I was going to get in trouble for not get there on time. But and then she prayed for me and she says, I pray that you get here right on time. And if not, we're happy. God knows. And somehow I think the taxi, well, first of all, God knew that I had to go through those feelings, right? I feel like as much as I don't want those feelings, but those feelings are very important. Kind of remind me that I said, I got you, Daryl. I got you. Don't worry about it. And then he got me there 20 minutes early. And I was supposed to be there 20 minutes late. For, see my wife, beautiful. And, of course, not immediately it changes, right? It's a little slowly process for you to change of your feelings, the way you're feeling, but her company and her response, and for me to just relax. And she says, are you okay, honey? Are you okay? You made it. Look, God made a way, and look at here. And I'm like, it did. And that's amazing that your response, I keep telling her, man, your response was so beautiful to hear that, whether you make it or not, I'm grateful that you planned this.
I know. He's amazing. I know. No, but thank you, honey. Thank you for all of that. I think it's really telling for a wife listening that we think dates are easy for our husbands to plan. And we think the romance should just come naturally and he should know how to do all the stuff. And the more I work with men, the more I realize it is a big deal. It's hard for him to plan something. It's a lot. The thing that separates him or blocks him from being able to do that is insecurity, because there has more than likely been a history of you not responding well to his attempts at romance, his attempts at creating dates. And that's been our history, right? I was trying to force him up this cliff instead to realize, wait a second, we're going to enjoy a little ride. We're going to do some things that maybe I wouldn't have chosen, but hey, this is cool if I have the right attitude about it, if I'm grateful for it, then we're, and then slowly we get to a level where we're doing things that actually I really enjoy, and it just gets better and better. But I do have to commend my husband because he did do a lot of work for this date. And that's what I get to focus on. Yeah, maybe the result, what if he did miss it? Okay, so the result of all of his work is maybe we are sitting on the park bench eating fast food. Okay, but he did all this work just to make me smile. I can give him that smile. I can give him the joy and enjoyment without him having to stress. And we do have a history of me being very critical. And that's where I didn't understand the respect and admiration part of how important it was to him. And so, yeah, he probably has a little PTSD. So when he makes a mistake, there's some triggers that I have, unfortunately, still have to help work out in him. But by God's grace, really, we can be easy to please. Dear sister, we can be easy to please, and that makes him want to please more. It makes him want to do more because he's like, oh my gosh, no matter what, I'm going to win. So why not try to do my very best for her? Because I'm going to be the winner anyway, no matter what I do. And that actually inspires and encourages him to do more. And you both enjoy the whole process and you're connected along the way. The beautiful experience that he had planned for me was a dinner cruise along the Hudson River. So super, super special sunset dinner cruise. It was just beautiful. And the text message where I said, all I want is my happy husband's attention. Dear husbands, that's what she wants on a date. She wants a happy husband and she wants your full attention. That's what she wants. Right there. Write it down. Like, really. To get that's you're going to win on the date. Because of the growth I have done in my respect and admiration of him, and not interrupting him and encouraging him and not correcting him and critiquing him and criticizing him and mothering him, telling him what he should and shouldn't do. I still fall into that sometimes, and I apologize but I unfortunately still accidentally fall into that sometimes. Is that true, honey?
Never. Never.
And he's very honest. But what I notice in him is his confidence has grown. His confidence has grown in huge ways, leaps and bounds since I started this journey. I have seen him grow and flourish as a man and become more and more of the leader that God wants him to be in our home, and a better father in all of these ways.
Yesterday, I took my kids somewhere in the city because they were off from school. I was telling my wife, I said, we had a great day. I feel like I connect the most with my kids yesterday. But then I told my wife, I was like, did we get into intimacy yesterday? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I feel it's because of that. My wife took care of me. It's like my wife took care of me, and it's like nothing can bother me. I took my kids. We talk, we play a lot. I feel like we had a great time. It was wonderful. But and then until today, I feel like, wait a minute, I connect with my kids yesterday. I feel like I connect with my kids. We're like, they have a voice. They can talk to me and I can talk to them. You know, it's like I'm connecting with them. That I feel connected. We had our lunch. I brought our lunch. I make some stuff. It was wonderful. And my kids, or all the kids, I will say, they're easy to make friends. You know, they're just having fun. And then, can I play with you? They were playing with the other kids over there. And then I said, it's time to go. So we get on the train, you know, trains. We saw the same kids get in on the train. And I play some games on the train because that, you know, they like them. I don't know if you heard this game, Spotted. I think you should look at that game. It's really good to connect with your kids. Oh, these two kids, they just wanted to play with them. And you know, trains, when they stop, and if you don't hold on to something, you might fall. That's a higher chances that it's going to happen. And this little kid, he got too excited that he stopped holding himself on the pole and he just started playing. But I had my hand because I knew that it's coming. You know, as a parent, it's like, yeah, this is going to happen. There are higher chances. So I grab him and the mom says, you know, thank you. And the same as the father, he says, thank you so much for putting your hand. It's like, I kind of saw, but I feel like, no, he got it. But then I put my hand so he doesn't fall. And the little kid says, oh, thank you. And on the way right to the train, and a few stops, they had to get off. And the parents, they say, like, what game is this? And I said, you know, Spotted. It's really cool that to get your kids played instead of cell phones. Because on the train, sadly, I see a lot of kids to make sure the kids don't feel it's too long, the trip to go somewhere else. It's like they have a cell phone so they can play games. I feel like, you know, so you also can watch on your cell phone or read a book or something. But I feel like that's the spot for you to sit with your son or your daughter. It's to connect or to spend time with that person, that little person, right? Otherwise, when the next time you notice that he you know, he'll be gone. And then you're like, what happened? How this guy grows so fast? And I feel the same way with this guy, that I'm seeing every day. And then the next day I'm like, you're big. You're now you speak in a certain way now, and then it tells me how he feels or his fears or something. And I feel like that's beautiful. That what a privilege to hear your son is telling you or your daughter his fears and his excitement and what is the best thing that he liked that day. And then you get to hear, you're the best dad ever. You're the best dad ever.
It's true.
And that's wonderful to hear, you connect with those, with your son. And, that all comes back to the intimacy stuff. And, it's just, it's wonderful. And always, want my kids to put them, to lead me, if they want to kind of challenge them. Do you know where this place is? Yeah, I know. Okay, so you're going to take me there, and it's good. And they feel good. They feel good that they know the way.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it that sex matters to you being a good father?
I feel like first is you're okay with your wife, physically, emotionally. You're okay, that she's okay, that you're okay, that you've been taken care of in the intimacy. And I feel like all that, whatever the things you release, when that happens, when the intimacy, I feel like I am well taken care of. And all your body can just feel the feeling that you just release, and feeling through your head all the way through your toes. And I feel like you're not worried about the next second that is coming or the next minute what you're concerned. You just let your body relax, or your body let you relax. You feel like you're well taken care of and everything is okay. That's what I feel like. Everything is okay. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. A lot of times, most of the times, all the times, that my wife says, yes, everything is okay. And I feel like that reaffirming that, yes, everything is okay. That's what I feel like. Everything is okay. I am well taken care of. I can be and do my best as a father, a husband, or anything else. That's, I don't know if I can explain that, but that's...
No, it was a beautiful explanation. I think that's just amazing. So what I wanted to just pull out of that story, which I really appreciate you sharing, one is, obviously, my husband's really good at sharing some deeper feelings that he has. And a lot of men, it's not easy for them. And that's because a lot of them, when they grew up, the only acceptable emotion for men to have was anger. And so they really never were told how to describe their feelings, what other feelings they have. It was just men are allowed to have anger, or that's it. And so I think, I don't know if it's culture or just a special God gift that my husband has been given, but or both, but he's able to express a lot of feelings that your husband probably has that he just doesn't know how to express. So keep that in mind with everything that we've talked about so far. Because Darrow has the skill to express his feelings means that you can take those and say, this is probably what my husband feels around the dates, around being a husband, around being a father, around intimacy, all of those things. Just because your husband doesn't know how or doesn't express those feelings, or he thinks it's weakness to express feelings, which it's not. It's actually bravery. It's actually courage to express your feelings. That's one thing. The other thing, my husband is very strict about screens, like very strict. His own screen time as well. And so he doesn't distract himself away from bad feelings. Let me say it again. He does not distract himself away from bad feelings. He feels the feelings. He's curious about what this means. And so I think that's really important for you as a husband, if you're listening, or as a wife, myself included, our screens, they should not be I feel a bad feeling, let me distract myself away from some kind of social media or some kind of stimuli. And I do that by mistake sometimes as well, but it's helpful at least for me to know it's a mistake, that I'm trying not to feel something that maybe God wants me to feel so I can address something. So that was the other thing I wanted to say. I love that you talked about how that intimacy was so vital for you to be a good father yesterday, because here's what I don't think my husband knows, is that, I wake up at 6 in the mornings to do my time with Jesus, and I have to do that every single day, weekends, every day. Otherwise, I can't do what I need to do as a wife, as a mother, as somebody who leads Delight Your Marriage. I can't do that unless I have that time with Jesus myself. And so yesterday, my time with Jesus was particularly powerful. It was so good, in fact, that there were times that I was just like, when was the last time I've fallen on my face before the Lord to worship him? And, before that, I was like writing out who I want to be before God, what kind of heart I want to have. And one of the major words that came to me was tender. I want a tender heart before God. And I like getting on my knees before him, practically, physically, to just worship him and love him the way that he deserves to be worshiped and loved. And then eventually I had to get up and go to the bathroom. And so when I did, getting close to the bedroom, and I was just like, oh my gosh, well, this is a perfect time to love God by loving my husband well. And so because I was so filled up with the Holy Spirit, filled up with God, that empowers me to love my spouse well. And my spouse is my highest human assignment from the Lord, from God. He assigned me Darrow. That is my assignment here on earth. And so he's the one I can influence more than anyone else. I'm so grateful that you're listening to me right now, but you don't get influenced as much as the man I'm sitting next to by my actions, by what I do. I'm glad you're listening, but if I do something stupid tomorrow and you're like, I'm turning this off, I'm never listening to Bella again, that would be a good idea, but it wouldn't harm and hurt you the same way that it would harm and hurt my husband. And it would impact him, maybe even in eternal consequences, because he would find out that I was a fraud, or et cetera, et cetera. And so what I do matters most to him in a good way and a bad way. And so I just want, as a wife, for you to realize, if you consider yourself a passionate follower of Jesus, passionately loving your husband is a function of the love you have for Jesus. You get filled up by God, and you are able and empowered to love your husband well. That's what it's about. Sex was God's idea, God's way of filling your husband up in his heart, emotionally. You can tell that's not just a physical thing. My husband is not one of those men that doesn't respect women and just wants to use them, not even close. God designed him for that purpose. And I have a privilege, an honor to love him well through that. And through that, enjoy it for myself, right? Maybe I start the experience for the purpose of loving my husband well, but God also blesses me through it if I give myself to it with that attitude, with that space in my heart. And the next thing I wanted to mention is that I think in working with husbands and wives separately, as I've worked with husbands, I think that, I don't know how God designed them. Husbands are innately motivated towards sex. It's kind of innate for them to desire it, right? They're designed for that. So my trainings for men are a little more intense than the trainings for women. Women, it's like they're busy. I know, let's give them a lighter, give them a journey rather than, intense training. And for men, it's a little more intense, I'll tell you. But it's because you're so motivated to fixing your sex life. So I'm like, okay, let me give you all the tools and let's do this, So that's what I notice with men. They're innately motivated towards sex. But for wives, I think we are innately motivated to be good mothers. We're innately motivated to be good mothers. And so if I can just tell you, making love to your husband in a wholehearted way actually is good for your children. It's good for your children, for you to love your husband well. And one of my most one of the most amazing women that God graced me with in my life, who actually, we got connected through the podcast. She attended one of my first webinars, and she is just utterly amazing. This soft heart towards Jesus, amazing mother, amazing wife. She's taught me so much through our relationship together. But she said this in our very first email interaction. She said, "The best thing I can do for my children's eternity is to make passionate love to their father." Every time I say it, it gives me chills. The best thing I can do for my children's eternity is to make passionate love to their father. Like, I have that privilege. I have a privilege to love this man well. And the ripple effects are for my kids. My kids get to see what it looks like to be a good man, a man that cares about other children. In fact, is going to make sure that you're so aware and protecting that you even protect other kids from getting hurt. Like, that's the kind of man I get to sit beside, because I love him the way that God would want me to love him, the way that he was designed to be loved. And so I think to wrap up this conversation that has gone a little longer than I expected, but hopefully it was worth it.
That's what happens when I get excited, when I get motivated. I just start speaking. I just start talking. I want to say to husbands, but you got to be careful with your expectations. You got to be very careful with your expectations. If you or you're going to do these trainings and all these tools that my wife will show you and teach you, be aware of your expectations. You want to do a lot of hard work, but the reward is you. It's you. You came closer to Jesus. It's you. And then you look at your wife. She chose you. She didn't choose everybody. She didn't choose, many people. She chose you. You get to live in her life. She chose you. Every time when you see her in the morning, when you go to work, make sure you're smiling. You say good morning, and we'll see you later. Right? Because sometimes we get so upset, so angry, that we don't just say that and we'll just go to work, right? Who knows that you'll come back, right? Who knows that you'll see your wife again? And why not the best way to let her know that you love her, right? Because we're here for, what is that saying? We're here in this world to dance, whether you like it or not. You're going to dance. You're going to enjoy this ride. And two things: you want to enjoy this ride, or you want to, put obstacles on your life. And if you have kids, I feel like a lot of times when I see my kids, I feel like, what would my kids wanted to learn from me as a father? Because my father, it's very different for me, the way that, he raised us. And I'm sure his father was very different, the way that he's been raised. So he did a little bit of better for me, and I want to do my better for my children, right? That's life. I feel like, and I hope and to my kids to be better than me, better their kids better than they. I feel like just expectations. If you put expectations in your life, you're the one who's going to end up suffering. Nobody else but you. Mm-hmm. You're the one who's going to end up suffering. Nobody else but you. And somebody else you want to hurt. You want to hurt somebody else. And you want to hurt somebody else who's the closest to you. I just want to put it that way. And watch what happens. But if you don't put expectations and just takes as it comes,
that's right,
you will see the beautiful things that the life and God has for you.
Yeah.
You'll see the beautiful things that you did not even dream of or expect it or even dream of to have it or to feel it, to see it, to believe it. And you'll see whether it will take weeks, months, right? Patience that we got to learn that it's so hard to be patient, right? But just patience and expectations.
Yeah.
If you have the patience and if you don't have expectations, I feel like a lot of wonderful things you start noticing. A lot of wonderful things you start noticing in your life and in your life with your wife, with your kids, with your mother and father, with your neighbors. A lot of things you'll start seeing wonderful things. And then you start seeing like why are they acting this way? It's my wife loves me the way that I am. She chooses me. There you will start seeing a lot of wonderful things. That's my last words for today.
I just think that's amazing. I think it's absolutely true. I love the no expectations. And I guess I'll just try to summarize some of the things we talked about. We talked about for a wife listening that he needs your respect. That's the way God designed him. And admiration, you get to be his cheerleader. On and on and on. How cool that he gets to have his wife, his cheerleader, by his side, encouraging the good. And then wholehearted sexual intimacy. My husband is incredibly empathetic, far more than me. And so, honey, do you mind kind of imagining a wife listening wherever she might be? And could you pray for her?
Yeah. I was about to ask you if I can pray with them.
Oh.
And one thing I had to say, listeners, that when the kids go to bed, every single night, I have not missed a night that I pray for you, for your family, for you, husband, and for you, wife, father, grandfather. I don't know you, but God knows you, and that's my Father. And every time I pray for you, that you'll be well, that you'll be safe, and that you're well taken care of, and that you respect. Let me pray for wives. Dear Father, thank you for all these people that are listening, and the people that it will be listening this podcast. God, I pray that you protect them, you bless them, that let them feel that you are with them. God, in a wonderful ways, God. The things that they went through is they're going through, and they will go through hard times, God, but let them know that they're not alone, that you are with them. And what a wonderful thing is they have their spouse, one another, to climb that cliff, that mountain. God, when somebody about to fall, that they can say, I got you, you're safe. You're safe. Let me help you. God, I pray for all the wives, all the wives and husbands, God, to be compassionate to one another, to cheer one another, God, to not criticize one another, but to cheer them up. God, the little things to appreciate it, the little things to let it know how wonderful thing it is. God, I pray that you continue to be in their hearts, in their lives, in their children, in their grandchildren. God, I pray that you be with them. And the people that are not feeling it, God, I pray that they will come and they'll see the hope. I'll say that you are with them if they can just come and look for you, because you know where they are. God, I pray that you protect them, you bless them. For wives, God, to love their spouse, God, to respect it. For husbands, to love their spouse, to respect it, to not have expectations for them, God, but to just be grateful.
Yeah.
I pray that you give them comfort, God, and just let them have a wonderful life in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Honey, thank you. Thank you so much. So if you're a wife listening, I hope that's given you lots of tools. We'd love to have you on the inside of a program to get the community support and ongoing insight and mentorship about all of these aspects of being a wife that loves her husband well. And so you can go to delightyourmarriage.com/cc for that clarity call. Even those that have not joined the program, clarity calls have been incredible in their lives. I've heard it time and again. And then for husbands, maybe you listen to this episode and you're like, I love who Darrow is, but I couldn't be like that. I don't know even how to start. Where do I start loving my wife well? That's where this training comes in. delightyourmarriage.com/men's training. And maybe you're at a spot where your heart is hard and frustrated and angry because it's hurt by all the past, all the times that your wife hasn't, all the things that we've just talked about, right? That's what this training is about, to help you. There's tools and skills and even exercises that I go with my clients, exactly the ones, those tools and exercises we're going to go through on this free training. So don't miss it. I really highly recommend that you go to delightyourmarriage.com/men's training. And I would invite you to do it now before you forget and get it on your calendar. Alrighty, God bless you. Thank you for this time of joining us. It's an honor, truly.
Yes. I just remember one thing that my youngest son says. Papi, do you love me?
Oh.
He says, Daddy, do you love me? I says, I do. But God loves me more. I said, yes, he does. Will you feel jealous if I love God more than you? I said, absolutely not. I cannot be jealous to that. Because I love you more than you. I say, hey, you're going to the right directions. So that's all I want to say.
That's awesome. So God loves you more than we do, but we do love you. All right. God bless. Talk to you next week. Bye.